This next clip was uploaded by The Chilling Floor and features a potential ghost sighting during a paranormal investigation at a castle in the UK. The creator of the clip claims that they captured a ton of unexplained phenomena during the investigation and that there was an extremely scary vibe in this old castle. And to make things even weirder, this castle was even used as a prison in the 70s and was the location that Donald Nelson, aka the Black Panther, was held. The poster wrote, "We did an overnight stay and recorded some very scary footage. We captured a face peeking in from outside the window that didn't look human, a shadow figure standing against a wall, and an orb pictured by one of the prison cells." The video begins with a tour of an old flight of stairs, and we can see that there's definitely an eerie vibe in this castle.
Some of you may remember him. Here's another cell, another prison cell. This is divided.
We then arrive at the very cell where the Black Panther stayed during his time there.
There seemed to be a face peering in. This one is proper scary. Again, I didn't notice it at the time. But watch as I turn the camera, there's a figure by the wall.
What do you guys think of this clip? Is it possible the ghost of the Black Panther is still around the prison cell where he spent so many years? Or possibly another prisoner who met a terrible fate in the castle? This video was shared by channel The Hooker, and he tells us that he thinks he's living in a pretty haunted house and that even his animals are reacting to all the activity. This particular night it got so bad that the following unfolded. Let's take a look.
Meow. Meow. What? What are you doing in there? This is fucking rhino.
Well, we know that animals always know when something's up. Oh! What? Was that there before?
What's that, dude?
He does see it. And then the light turns off. I don't understand, guys. So he goes into the bathroom, sees that the light is on, which it shouldn't be, I suppose, and then he turns it off, and then it turns on again, and then that thing appears. So, I don't know how legit this is, but it would appear that a shadow person is gambling with the electricity in his house, and this is the result of that. That's pretty terrifying. The next video was shared by a couple of parents who noticed that something quite mysterious was captured on the recording of their baby camera. They didn't notice it at first, but at some point were basically forced to acknowledge that something wasn't quite normal. A strange white object appeared right next to the crib in which their little toddler was sleeping. They thought it might have been a bug at first, but in the end weren't quite sure if maybe something else was going on here. Does it look like a bug to you? The father said that it might have been one of the deceased grandparents who was visiting the kid, and maybe leaning into the picture and looking at the grandkid. Is this possible? Or was it something different? The following video comes from Japan and features a few paranormal investigators walking through a thick forest with an old abandoned cabin. The investigators are seen peeking through the windows and around the side of the house. Nothing strange really. But after getting home and checking the footage, they thought to have noticed something. They slowed the footage down and noticed something truly terrifying. Something appears to be peeking out of this old hut. Is it a woman? A homeless person, perhaps? The uploader states that he, however, thinks that we are seeing a spirit here. Do you think that could be so? Unsettling. The next captures were uploaded by Defender Loa. He started a thread saying, "A clear figure in the motion detection video thumbnail, but nothing in the video." He talks about his friend Kimberly that came home one night between 1 and 2 a.m. Before going to bed, she wanted to let her father know that she made it home safe. As she was heading upstairs, she heard an odd noise coming from the main floor. All of a sudden, the alarm system went off. The family gathers, in shock of course, and it appears that nothing was out of place, except the garage door was found open, but no sign of an intruder. Their surveillance service provides them with motion sensing cameras, which send snapshots to the user's phone whenever motion is being detected. This unsettling image was sent to her dad's phone. Looks like a lady in a nightgown with no face. Nobody in the family knew anybody who looked remotely like that. And the video recording of that particular night shows no sight of the lady. To this day, it could not be explained what transpired in this house. The next video was sent by Simon F, and he told me that he found it on a random Reddit thread. Unfortunately, without writing down the uploader, we are seeing another family home, and another young mother is spending some time with her newborn and her little daughter. And yet again, it is said that the home of this family has some really unusual things happening once in a while. In the following recording, we see the young mother watching television, and her older daughter is about to leave the living room. However, this doesn't go as planned. Her mother is sure that something pushed her forcefully, and the little girl stated that it felt like an ice-cold wall that was hitting her. Strange. Unfortunately, it is unknown what exactly caused this wall to appear. Do you have an explanation? The next few videos were shared by WV Paranormal, and they state that at night they heard some really odd noises in their yard, and then things started to appear there as well, and that's when they slowly started to document all of that. Let's take a look. A bobcat, perhaps? What was that? Oh, wow, that looks creepy. So it ran out of the woods towards him? Look at that. Is that a lady in a dress? Oh, wow, that really looks creepy. I mean, that's no bobcat. Well, maybe at this point we kinda can be certain that something else is going on. This is not an animal, guys. Let's see the next video. Oh yeah, another silhouette. Look. What is that? Is that like two eyes, a super weird nose, and there's the mouth? Now, I want to hear what you guys think. What is like spooking around in this dude's yard? And right behind his kids? Once more for good measure. Huh. I mean, at this point we have to say, either there's something really weird living in the forest. I don't even think in his yard anymore. The following is a recording that was shared by a man who started documenting some really unusual activity in his new house. He had just moved in recently, and ever since had trouble sleeping at night. Seeing shadows and weird apparitions was nothing new for him. That's why he started recording these incidents now. The tone of his voice clearly indicates that he was freaked out a little bit.
What the f...
Besides this item being moved up there, however, there was something even more terrifying. A shadow apparition that was standing in one of the other rooms, and he didn't see it. That makes this even more creepy. Was it maybe the reason for all this ghostly activity? Or was it just visiting him that night? Certainly really terrifying if you think about it. If the man moved houses after this is unknown. This video was found in the paranormal section of Reddit. Two young men were supposedly discovering the tunnels of an old mine. They were going on trips together quite frequently and found some really strange stuff in some of these tunnels, to say the least. But this video was a bit different than the others. As they were making it through the abandoned mine shafts, the man filming can capture something without even noticing it at the time. There's a large shadow standing in the distance. The men were sure that it couldn't have been caused by any of the two, and there was nobody else in there. After a quick pan, this shadow has just vanished. The shadow itself also is looking quite a bit odd in terms of proportion. The head looks quite big, but it also could be that whoever is reflected on the rocks here is wearing a jacket with a large collar. They had no idea what we were seeing here. It was an inexplicable event for the two men, up until this day. This was captured by Chris Hollins and shared with the paranormal section. He states, "This photo was taken at the haunted Jerome Grant Hotel in Arizona. My girlfriend and I took this photo while staying there about 5 months ago. We took over 700 photos and happened to capture this spirit. Keep in mind, there was nobody in the hall and we did not see this entity while taking the photo." Another interesting capture is this one. He tells me in an email that this shadow was seen once more in the mirror, and that he thinks a face can be seen too. Could that be so? It's definitely a pretty mysterious capture, just like the first one. If nobody else was there in the hallway at that time, what could they have captured here exactly? A real shadow person, perhaps? This video was shared by a young man who states that he was out on a nightly trip with friends when they saw something rather strange hovering on the other side of the road. He pulled his phone out and started recording. What caught him off guard was that with this strange sighting, there was an unusual weeping noise that he could hear stemming from that thing. If this was just a wind hose or something, why would it be illuminated? He had no explanations for this sighting. And after returning to the car a bit later that evening, the object had mysteriously disappeared, according to the uploader. Some comments even state that it looks quite similar to a head and a torso. Could this mean that we are looking at a real ghost here? Or is there a way more plausible explanation in your opinion? Michael and Heather are a couple that like to tamper with the paranormal forces. They stream some of their Ouija sessions to their viewership, and ever so often, some really interesting events are unfolding. But lately, as one would expect, these forces seem to make it into their house, even if they are not playing with their Ouija board. As we know, playing with a board opens up a door that oftentimes can't be closed easily again.
Hello? Hello? Whoa. Hello?
Yet they decided to proceed with their live Ouija sessions. On a side note, never take off your hands off the planchette without ending the session first.
I'm freaked out now.
As you can imagine, it didn't end there. The following night, they heard some disturbance from outside of the bedroom.
Shh, shh, shh. Who's there?
Did the poltergeist open all their cupboards, or were they opened previously without showing us? But it escalated even more. Around 2 AM, an intruder seemed to start ringing their doorbell. Nobody can be seen outside their house. Strange. It seems that to this day, these events haven't really calmed down. They have several security cameras mounted in their home to capture all the activity. Even their pets are starting to get freaked out. Let's see how this case develops in the future. This video is a really interesting one. It has been forwarded by Ghost's son and it was recorded by a father who was visiting a theme park together with his family in Asia. The land this park was built on is host to many ghost stories and legends. You know, urban legends to spook people a little. What's weird though is that apparently there were a few unnatural sightings taking place on the man's footage. Are we seeing the spirit of a girl here looking out of the window? The man states that the upstairs area is not accessible to the public. How strange. Another really odd moment took place when the father was filming down towards the lobby area in one of the buildings. After moving a bit further down the hallway, something can be seen standing there. Is it a little girl? But how's that possible? Did the man come across several paranormal encounters that day? You'll be the judge. The following video is a really interesting one and was posted by a user called Mel Murder. Mel likes to go for walks in the afternoon and she tends to ramble about different things in her life that she boggles her mind over. Located in Sweden, there are many forests and fields close to where she lives. So what better place to go for a mind-clearing walk? Last week, Mel was filming her thoughts whilst making it through one of the little forests. The sun had already set and she was going on about an appointment she just had with her psychologist. And it was on that walk that she captured something really strange that she couldn't explain. The funny thing is, a viewer pointed it out. She had no idea that she might not have been alone at the time. She's not a believer in the paranormal and considers herself a skeptic at best. But she also states that in this particular area, there shouldn't be too much wildlife. To give you all an idea, Mel walks the same path on one of the following days to show people the area by day.
I'm gonna go up to a tree. This part becomes very slippery and muddy during evening time. Well, this is still kind of dry. So there is the tree, and or was it that tree? I think it was this tree. And whatever you saw was down there. There's a big rock here, so it's not really easy to hide, and it's not very big, even if it was this tree. So yeah, it's not a big big forest, there's no wildlife here. So it could just have been a person messing around or whatever.
Now let's see what actually transpired that night.
Jag undrar vad han kommer ställa för diagnos på mig. Och alltså, det är så jävla halt, helt gyttjigt här i skogen.
Did you notice anything? Look again.
Jag undrar vad han kommer ställa för diagnos på mig. Och alltså, det är så jävla...
Something was standing behind the tree and was peeking at Mel here. It's really unclear at what exactly we are looking at here. Some people believe it to be an alien, others say it might be a paranormal encounter with an apparition from another plane. Of course, it also could have been a person in the end, but I feel that her recording and explanation about this incident feel pretty real to me. Do you think it was just an animal? And what about the glowing eyes on the ground that also seem to be looking in Mel's direction while she's walking by the tree? This could be an animal in my opinion. I'm really confused. Maybe this thing is related to the tall entity behind the tree? I'm sure this was a baffling encounter for everybody, and who can say for sure what happened that night? This will remain a mystery.